Hello there, and good evening. I'm quite excited to share this with you. This has been something I've worked on for a while, and am still working on, and I thought I would share it piece by piece, and also to kind of get myself a bit more enthused about it and involved. This is a book I've been working on, and also I think it'd be great to catalog it here and, you know, kind of keep a memory and track of what I've worked on. It's been a long, slow progress, but it should soon, hopefully, at least for the first book, take its final shape after several revisions. But here, I just want to at least share a few parts um, from the beginning, of course. And it's simply the first book is titled Mortterra. It is the land, as we'll find out, to the south of the realm. It is a major plot point of contention in the book. So it's a very fitting title, very simple. Not these like some of these titles, especially in the manga world. The titles are almost a paragraph long. So none of that here. None of that. Without further ado, upon the creation of the world, many creatures roamed freely before man could herd and command them. The vegetation was lush and emerald green within the forests, and crisp air blew over the oceans and mountains, while the paunch was not yet devoid of water and life. Yet in the air there was a sense of ever-prevailing peace. No worries, nor questioning in the next day, nor wars between nations to break out in the blink of an eye or beat of the heart. Upon this atmosphere of tranquility, the first family made their home and grew their presence upon the world. This family was comprised of several dozens of members, each with their own unique roles for survival, working together in harmony. From the many differing skill sets within this first family, we can draw near direct lines of blood heritage to the cultures and races of many nations today. These races, although drastically different from one another in appearance, can follow the label of human, each with their ancestry, with their common ancestry, and the classical stereotypical image of that being held by the citizens of the Valyrian Empire to the southwestern reaches of Theron, the continent of which the cradled the first family's humble beginning. From the family's hunters and craftsmen came the rugged Orsilians, often mislabeled as orcs, mostly due to their brutish and simplistic lifestyle, very traditionalistic. They hail from the kingdom of Natrau. From the family rose within the family to study the stars and early forms of magic, they became the Northmen of Dal Tharen to the northwest, and they, again, are often referred to and mislabeled as elves, as they have become quite slender in appearance, very typical of the mythical race. The navigators and the trackers became the commonly sun-tanned Brienne of the Republic of Ethros, who ruled both the sea of water and the seas of sand within the Parch. As far as trade and travel were concerned, they were the masters of this realm. Finally, there were the Valyrians, or the Southmen, and their proud empire. They were the original leaders, planners of the family, keeping everyone organized, focused, and in harmony. Though they lacked any apparent other redeeming physical qualities about them, or other specialized skill, they were not defenseless or weak as one would imagine. Instead, this aspect of their lives drove them to prove themselves, to earn their place in the world. They waged many wars with the Northmen of Daltharan during the early years of building the Valyrian Empire. In the midst of these conflicts, the All-Mother of the warring races, Almeria, built a sanctuary for each of them to share upon seeing the final peace signed between the nations, which brought an end to the bloodshed. From a large bay within the continent, she rose a single large island, with fertile, untouched land in its center. To the west and east were rivers, to the lake a north buried deep in the mountains. And the sea was to the south. And the sea to the south. This area, properly named the House of Almeria, served as a vital trade route and a large seat of power for the Valyrians, who assumed domination of this island city. I'm actually going to remove the word city there. See, even now, we're catching little things that I would like to change, because this is quite not a city so much as it is a large farmland area that simply has a lot of traffic. Though I could imagine a sizable city somewhere on the island. But the entire island is not that. From here and the nearby capital of Vermor, the borders of the empire expanded from the southernmost shores to the border of Daltharan, as they had been in the north for many ages. Outside the house of Almeria, the most picturesque example of human accomplishment was the far-flung city in the south, far-flung southern city of Umbremor. Situated on the southernmost peninsula of Theron, it was known for its surrounding fertile soil that even rivaled the house of Almeria, thanks to old volcanoes and ashlands. Of ancient times. Furthermore, the trade in the southern regions was dominated by those who lived and watched over the city, creating solid economic relations with merchants from all corners of the continent. However, as with most things in life, this peace and prosperity was temporary. I must switch this around. As with most jewels and centers of wealth, greed eventually crept into existence. The rich from near and far turned the lands into vast farmlands, where many of the citizens found eventual work and fewer found an eventual fortune. These fortunes were sealed deep into vaults and estates and built up of the imperial military. Despite the years of celebration for peace with their northern neighbors, this developed into riots in the field that perforated into the streets as everyone wanted a piece of the riches that Umbremor promised. Desperation resorted to violence, and as such, none of them reaped the rewards of that prosperous city. Mm, yes, yes. I shall add that here. There we go. The city was completely lost, reduced to ruin and cinders as the next few years resulted in a mundane civil war, in which loyal imperial forces eventually crushed the rebel militias. However, victory only bred more discontent and revenge, as the victorious took out acts of murder, looting, rape, and arson as they reveled like animals through defeated streets of cobblestone. Mm. The House of Almeria, the entire island, fell into a neutral and uncontrolled status as the Valian Empire reallocated all funding and resources to rebuild the southern territories and to quell these vengeful acts in Umbremore. However, upon these forces reaching the already torn lands, they found a mass of refugees from all backgrounds fleeing north, with tales of monsters taking the city, leaving mercy for none. It seemed a plague or curse had fallen over the lands, and many of the people, as even some of those fleeing, changed before the eyes of the soldiers into abominations that were more animal than human. As the standard armies fought this unnatural threat, the Emperor Belir appointed the second Constantine and his order of sentinels to bridge the order of Adamant and Nonet with the more militaristic aspects of the emperor's authority and that of his legions. From this eastern city, the sentinels and their Constantine offered support to both the casters and the legion, but only the highest loyalty to the emperor. For the past 2 centuries, the empire has kept the southern border intact, using the natural chasm of Denthar as their main defense. All the while, small expeditions have been made into the grave and ruin-riddled land of Mortterra. Against its inhabitants, the abominations soldiers called the Corrupt. The beings that wander the wastes and lash out at any unlucky soldier are said to be monsters unleashed from a world beyond death because of the horrid actions taken at Umbremore all those years ago. Others say they are the ghosts incarnate of the innocent and guilty alike, who simply seek justice for their suffering, or more of the same vengeance that brought them into existence. Regardless, and however, they've grown more violent, more intelligent, and less fearful of man over the past few years. Alaton, another far-flung frontier settlement, is under heavy guard, as it is the last crusade, the most recent crusade into the cursed lands, and most likely to suffer if the corrupt feel particularly aggressive, even more so than usual. And really, that was a rough setup to the modern day, as it were. And the way I structured this story is that you'll see the name of the character, it will have a section from their point of view, and then it will change over time. So his section could last for 2 pages or 2 paragraphs, whatever, and I'll move to the next character, and this basically moves the story along as such. In fact, I don't think I printed any more. But I can give what little bit here. Let's see. Looking through the spyglass. So, chapter 1 here is Eric. Or Erik. Looking through the spyglass, I saw yet another brewing cluster of clouds in the distance, most likely to be lethal for us, if the storm hits full force. Those damn corrupt can't feel the cold nor the touch of fire. If we lost any men to the elements, we wouldn't have enough blades or bodies to hold the position, if any corrupt bothered even approaching the walls. I believe that's what it says here. Afterwards, on the next page. But you can sort of get an idea of what is to come. And that will do it for this short little video here. Well, I don't know how short exactly. I'll have to check the audio and everything afterwards and make sure it's not too quiet or too overbearing. But I do thank you regardless for joining me here. And I hope it has sparked some level of interest. You know? Just some level. And of course, even here, I found a few minor things that I have to revise. So, it's also a great way of proofreading my work a third time, as it were. So, without further ado, it is getting pretty late, and I think I should turn in for the night. I do hope you enjoyed once again. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Good night, and peace.